Welcome everyone here to our masterclass. I'm excited and grateful to have you join me today. It says something really special about you for coming today and giving your marriage the gift of your time and your attention and your effort. And so I'm grateful to have you here. My name is Heather Choate. I am the co-owner of High Thrive Coaching. And we have been helping couples since 2016, the past 6.5 years, to save their marriage from divorce. We are the ICU for couples that are on the verge of divorce. And we've helped tens of thousands of couples just like you now to successfully navigate that experience. So today I'm going to share with you how to save your marriage in less than 6 months without getting your heart hurt. And I'm going to share with you our proven path process that is very different from anything you've ever heard, and no one else is even talking about this. So if you feel exhausted, like you've been trying so many things and nothing's been working, and you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling confused, you're wondering, maybe I should just give up, maybe I should just move on, or maybe some of you are like, I've got to make this work, my family means everything to me, then this is definitely going to be for you. All right, so I want to make this a dialogue, not just a monologue, and the best way to do that is to use the chat. So I will be watching the chat throughout the masterclass today. And I have my team members also going to be helping me over in the chat to answer your questions, to give you guys some cool resources and make sure that you don't just come away from our time together here with great information, but you experience some transformation. So use the chat, do the exercises with me, weigh in on the poll I'm about to launch here in a minute, raise your hand when I ask a question, share things with me. It will only be seen by me and my team member, Diego, here. No one else will see the chat. So it will be completely private, and I want you guys to ask questions. Let me know when you have an aha moment. Let me know when you're like, oh my goodness, I feel like I just got hit upside the head. I've been doing one of those things, and now I can see why it hasn't been working. Above all, today, I want you guys to give yourself some grace, because if your marriage is struggling and your relationship is not where you want it to be, it's not your fault. It's really not your fault. And I want you to give yourself some grace. Why do I say it's not your fault? I'm not saying don't take accountability for the things that are our part, but the bottom line is that society and our culture in this world has basically programmed us to fail at relationships. That's why over 50% of marriages end in divorce, and only 8% of all couples that ever get married actually report being happy in their marriage. That means the majority of us are having a relationship that is less than ideal, and it's really not your fault, because you haven't known the things I'm going to share today before. So I want you, again, to give yourself some grace that you just simply haven't known these things. But now the good news is that we're going to learn them together and apply them and see some massive changes happen in your marriage. All right, awesome. So I want to know right off the bat, I'm going to launch a poll here. What is your primary problem right now, or your primary challenge with your partner? Are you couple A? Maybe you already have divorce filed. Maybe they're talking about divorce. They've already talked to a lawyer. Maybe they're threatening divorce, and you want to know what to do to stop it and how to get them back for good. So I see some of you weighing in on a poll. Thank you. The more information that you give me, and the more we have this dialogue here, the more I'm able to go deeper into what you are experiencing. Okay. Couple B. Maybe there is no trust or broken a trust. Maybe they're having an affair. Maybe they've had multiple affairs. Maybe you've had multiple affairs, or there are other major trust issues, and you want to be able to heal the damage and have trust between you again, right? We've all had those broken promises, and we want to be able to heal that. Or are you really struggling with a lot of communication challenges? Maybe they're ignoring you. Maybe they're blocking you. Maybe they turn everything into a fight. And there's a lot of tension and volatility, or maybe there's just a lot of coldness and withdrawal. And you want to know how to open up communication and have respect and actually have that build some connection. So I'm seeing your answers over in the poll. Thank you for weighing in on those. Josh says B, okay. Sean B, A, B, and C. Rachel, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Awesome. I'm grateful to have you here, Gerardo. Yes, you need this. Yeah, you are not alone. B and C, all three. B, improper communication. A and C. Okay, awesome. I'm going to end the poll and share the results. So we've got 21% of you are saying divorce, filed or divorce on the table. 38% of you are talking about trust or affairs, and 42% of you are dealing with lack of good, healthy communication. Okay, awesome. That helps me know what we can go in deeper today. Beautiful, thank you. So as a gift for you guys for coming, I want to give you guys our 7 proven conversation starters training. This is normally $47 type training, and I'm going to gift it to you guys for free for coming to the masterclass. And for me personally, I've been married for 16 years with my husband, Ben, and we have 8 children together. Yes, you heard me right. I have 8 children because I love babies. I'm a total baby lover, and we're now done. But in our 16 years of marriage, we have definitely seen our share of struggles. And there were times when we felt like, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if we can make it through this. Maybe it is better if we get divorced. And so when my marriage has struggled, communication is always the first thing that goes out the window. Do you guys agree? Raise your hand, right? My husband tends to be the one that pulls away and withdraws. And I tend to be the one that pursues and tries to resolve things and push for things to get better. And so I have learned that when my husband's very closed off, or when there's just a lot of tension, these are some powerful ways to open up communication, okay? And get the conversation going. If you're getting a lot of one-word answers right now, or a lot of really closed off responses, this is going to help to get that dialogue loosened up and going in the right direction, okay? So go ahead and grab it over in the chat. All you have to do is fill out the quick form that we just posted over there in the chat. And then we will text it or email it to you right away. So you can use these things in your marriage. Awesome. My gift to you, I hope you find it valuable. All right. So like I mentioned earlier, we've been working with tens of thousands of couples now. And we found one little thing that's a big reason why marriages are failing to solve problems and ending in divorce. And I say it's something insane because no one else is even talking about this. And no, you probably haven't heard it from your pastor or your bishop or your therapist or your counselor or your best friend, because no one else is even talking about this, because like us, they probably didn't even know about it for a long time, right? So before I get into that though, I want to go into the 5 biggest mistakes that most people make when their spouse wants out, and how you can solve any of these problems in your marriage in the next 6 months or less. Okay, those are some big promises, and I always want to be a woman of integrity and give you the absolute honest truth. So that is my promise to you today, is I'm always going to be completely transparent with you. If there is a situation, a marriage that cannot be saved, or really maybe should not be saved, I will be completely open and honest with you about my opinion there. And if I see that there is hope, again, I will be completely honest about what the next steps are that you should take. All right, now these 5 biggest mistakes that most people are making, I'll be the first to raise my hand and say I've made every single one of these mistakes. And we're going to talk about why there's some really common myths and some common misconceptions out there. Like I said, I believe society's programmed us to fail at relationships. And you may have a big aha moment here and realize, oh my goodness, I've been doing that. And now I can understand why it really hasn't been working. So weigh in on the chat here, okay? Here's a common problem. Let me know if this is one of your problems. Your spouse wants a divorce, separation, or they're having an affair. Based on the poll that you guys did, that would be about what, 70-ish% of you, 60% of you? So probably a lot of us here are dealing with a spouse that says, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I want out. I'm not happy here. I want a divorce. I want separation. I want space, right? So what do most people do when this happens? Okay, let me know in the chat. What are you doing right now that you think might solve this? Or what do you think most people do when their spouse is in this place where they're like, I don't want to work on the marriage with you, right? Okay. Yep, you said he's done. Jacob said, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Yeah. Okay. Someone said I had the affair. Now she wants out. Currently separated, says not in love, moved out, mentioned divorce in passing. I have texted no response. Okay. He said he's done, no reconciliation. So let me know, you guys, what are you doing? What do you think most people do in this kind of situation? Melissa, I've done all, begged, pleaded, Oh, it's going too fast. I lost it. Tried counseling. Yep, super common. He refused to join. Not in love with me. We talk, but in separation, says we're done. Plead, etc. Thank you. I recognize you there. Giving her space, partial separation. She doesn't want to work on the marriage. No longer desires me or wants me. Said I broke his heart by a question and doesn't know what he wants or if he still loves me. Currently separated, she filed, but I have not been served, been almost 2 months. I begged. We try to pull them back and end up pushing them away. Got an A+ student here. Awesome. I've been pushing, but have changed to just letting her have space. Wife said she's done trying and trying to get me to step up. Doesn't love me like he used to. Now I'm working on myself. Only time we've talked is in relation to having her removed from car insurance. Okay. All right. So I saw a lot of you. You guys are really smart here. You guys are really getting this, but a lot of you are talking about going to counseling, going to therapy, turning to your friends, your family, maybe watching YouTube videos, doing self-help books, trying to do it yourself. How many of you have been told that to save your marriage or to have a healthy relationship, you should just work on yourself, right? Just work on yourself. Yeah, I've been told that. And the reality is that working on yourself is good for you. But the problem with all these methods here, including counseling, therapy, working on yourself, is that there's no direction. I don't know about you guys, but with like the self-help books, I read The Love Dare. I did that like 5 times and tried to just service my husband to death. And it was completely ineffective. It totally fell flat. And the love languages is like scratching the surface. When you've got major issues going on and major broken trust and a total lack of communication, the love languages doesn't really get deep enough to really resolve those things. And so you're not really getting direction, or sometimes you'll hear something or you'll read something and you'll be like, oh, that makes so much sense. If I just do that thing, then everything will work. But you really don't know if it's going to work for your situation. And a lot of the problem with counseling and therapy is it just simply takes too long. And if your spouse is saying, I want out, I don't love you anymore, I love you, I'm not in love with you, I'm in love with someone else, I want to be with someone else, or you broke my trust and I'll never forgive you, you don't have time. Like, time is not on your side. And so what we do is radically different than that. What we do is we help you save your marriage in 6 months or less. And if you guys want later, I can break down, kind of give you guys an idea of the amount of time it might take for you, because there's some general commonalities in couples that we've worked with that we can kind of gauge about how long this is going to take. But it's usually less time than you think it's going to be. And you don't have to waste years in therapy and end up risking divorce. Melissa says, yes, please. Okay, I'll make sure to do that. So let me know in the chat, which of these have you already done to try to solve this? Some of you already talked about counseling, marriage books, programs. Some of you raised your hand. You said, yeah, I've been working on myself. Yeah, thank you, Chad. Yeah, YouTube videos, exactly. And so we do a lot of these things and we hope and pray that it's going to work. And then we end up really feeling really frustrated when it just doesn't work at all. So why is that? You're saying the last 3, all of those options, right? So working on yourself, going to therapy, all of these do-it-yourself kind of methods are potentially really good for you to improve yourself. Like, that's always a good thing. But in and of themselves, they're not the solution to save your marriage. The solution that we found that no one else is talking about is to work on changing your spouse's beliefs and their story about you. Okay. So the bottom line is that all of us have a story about our spouse, a story about ourselves, a story about our marriage, a story about everything in our lives, right? It's kind of the lens through which we look at the world. And I want to know, what is your spouse's story? In other words, the reasons why they're saying what they're saying, why they want out, or justifying what they're doing. So I'm going to go through some common ones and I'm going to watch the chat here. Let me know what your spouse's story is there. Okay. So you won't change. I didn't meet her emotional needs. Thank you. Yes. Awesome. The change is only temporary. Like, I see that you're changing, but if I come back to you, then it's probably going to go back to the way that it was, and I'm going to be hurt again. And I don't want that. Right. Or the change is just a manipulation. You're not really changing for real. Right. It says he can't trust me. I won't change. I'm too controlling. Yeah, exactly. She says, I've not been there for her emotionally and mentally. I can't trust you. Her story about me is it got away from me. Hang on a second. Is the truth in a way she believes I won't change and will hurt her and the kids again. He says he will talk to me many times and nothing changed, or it is temporary. Spend too much money, no intimacy, temporary change, so that I wasn't making her priority and that she felt second to everyone else, that I used sex to mend the marriage. However, we're trying to have a child together. Oh, that's a tricky one. Yeah. I need to find myself, right? I can't be happy here. We're better as friends. I don't get what I want. Yeah. Okay. No, didn't talk to a therapist about a miscarriage. Flying back and forth, lack of communication is what turned him off, and he felt second. He believes I lied about my birth control and got pregnant on purpose, despite him not wanting another child. Basically, he doesn't see me as the same person he married because he feels I deceived him. She hates men. Oh, what an interesting story there. I just hate all men, right? I'm sorry, I'm laughing because it's not really funny. I hear this one and it's really a very strong thing to believe, right? Mine used the whole I don't trust you thing, relationship with another guy. Yeah, that's that projection of I'm doing this thing, and so I'm projecting what I'm doing upon you. And so we see that happen sometimes. The old you, it's not you, it's me. Okay, it's not you, it's me. Yeah, all right. Said I'm not the man she married. She lives in her own reality. She has been unhappy for years. I didn't find out any of it until she told me she didn't love me. Okay, awesome. And we just put in the chat here that you can leave your phone number in the chat. And if you want to get a free consultation with one of our team members here, and no one else will, again, be able to read that number. So when you leave it in the chat, it's completely private. Only I and my team member here, Diego, will see it. And then you guys can get a consultation and we can see what to do about this story that your spouse has and how we can help them overcome that story and want to be with you again. So awesome. Thank you. I can see some of you putting your number over there. You guys want to grab that free consultation. So we'll definitely make sure that we reach out to you there. Please include the country code as you're posting your number there. As a bit of side note here, just because we are an international marriage coaching company, we have some clients and some people here right now over in the UK or New Zealand, Australia, sometimes South Africa. So if you can include your country code, I know for us in the US, we're like, of course you know it, where I am, but we definitely would not want to miss you. So include the country code, please. Okay. All right, next problem here. So would you guys agree? We're not alone. Everyone here has a spouse with a negative story about them, right? What do most people do when their spouse has a negative story about them? What do you do about your spouse's negative story or their negative belief about you? Yeah. So let us know in the chat. Yep. If you just got a question here, how do I send my number in a private message? So when you go to send it private here in the chat, it only goes to the hosts and panelists and it does not get seen by everyone. That's why you can't see each other's chat at all. We just do that for privacy's sake. And so when you post it over there, we will be the only ones that can see it. If you prefer, you can also go to my name, Heather Choate. I'm the host here, and just send it directly to me there. And then you can, if that feels more secure to you, then you can absolutely do that. All right. My team member will help you, Gerardo, with the workbook. Absolutely. We'll get that. Make sure you get that. Sweet. Okay. So we get angry out of fear. You feel like there's nothing I can do. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for your honesty. Yeah. So we get defensive sometimes. We try to prove it isn't true. Sometimes we go into all this action to try to make these changes and have them believe this new story about us, right? For me, if my spouse believes something negative about me, oh, you're really controlling me, or you only said that to control me. That's one of the ones that we've had to work on, right? Because I tend to be the one that pursues and he tends to be the one that withdraws, right? Is I can come across as controlling, or he can see my motives there as controlling. Whoops, I skipped ahead. And so I try to prove that that isn't true by showing I'm not controlling. But what happens here when we get defensive is that it only pushes our spouse further away. They don't believe the changes that we're making. They say it's just a manipulation. I don't actually believe that these are lasting, or they simply are the point where they just don't care. So they either don't see the changes, they see them and they don't care and I don't believe them, or they just really don't care anymore at all. And so what we want to do is really different than that, because my friends, I see a lot of people make a mistake about this. And I understand where it's coming from. We're coming from a place of insecurity and a place of fear that our spouse believes this about us. And whether their story that they have about us is true or untrue, or a little bit of both, right? Maybe it's a little untrue and a little true. To them, this is true. To our partner, this is the way that they see things. And if we try to prove and defend ourselves against the story, then it just becomes us against them. And we're just butting heads, and we end up pulling further and further apart, and we feel like there's nothing we can do. The reality is there's a lot that we can do when we start doing in a different way. Instead of me against them, we're going to get on the same side of the table, and it's us against this issue. You guys feel the difference? Have you experienced that in your marriage before? When before it was like you against them, and we're like at each other, and they're the enemy and I'm the enemy to them, and right? And instead of that, we put down our weapons and we get on the same side of the table, and it's us against the issue, right? All right, so what we do and how we help you get to that place where you're working on the issue together is help your spouse change their belief or story about you with the path method, so they see the possibility of being happy with you and they actually want to be with you. Now, I see a lot of people in therapy and sometimes even other programs, and they start working on like the affair, and they think that if they just end the affair, that everything is going to be fine. And they're only addressing the symptoms instead of the root issues. And what we do is go to those root issues and create lasting change. So it creates lasting happiness and lasting results. All right. We definitely don't put Band-Aids on things or dwell on the symptoms. We want to uncover why your spouse believes what they do, or believes what they believe, and why they think the way they think, and why they're doing what they're doing. My friends, I understand right now, like it may seem like you and your spouse could not be further apart from what you want and what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go. But you would be astounded to realize that you and your spouse are actually most likely very much wanting the exact same things. How can I say that? Because I've seen it in my own marriage, and I've seen it with countless other couples. There are 6 primary emotional human needs that we have. We want to feel loved. We want to feel significant. We want to feel secure. We want to feel cherished, important. We want to feel respected. We're all wanting the same things. Our hearts are all desperately craving the same things. But along the way, we get a little bit muddled up in how to go about getting those things. But when you can realize, and your spouse can realize, that we actually want the same things here, how can we work together as a team on that? That's when everything starts to change. All right. Cool. All right. I'll definitely get to that, Anthony. I see that over there. I'm not going to say it right now, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. So this path method is a 4-step process where we open up peaceful communication. We reduce the tension between you, and we start to create some safety and some security that it feels safe enough to talk about things. And we get you then to the place where they start to adjust how they see you. So they start to see you in a different way. They start to question the narrative that they have about you, and they start to wonder, is that really true? Could I really be happy here? Now, we call this the teeter-totter effect. Some of you may be at this point where they're kind of hot and cold, right? Sometimes they want to work on things, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they say they want to leave the affair partner. Sometimes absolutely they're running to their affair partner. Sometimes they are talking about divorce, and sometimes they're talking about future plans together. Is that where you're at? If you're not there yet, it's okay. If you're still at the point where your spouse is like, I'm completely checked out, there's no way I'm doing this, then you're still here at stage 1, and we can get you to stage 2. Stage 2 is that back and forth, that hot and cold, right? And that's when you have an immense amount of opportunity to be able to have your spouse let go of that narrative, adjust how they see you, and want to come back to you. Then that brings us to the friend stage, where we are able to talk about anything. You're able to have immense amounts of respect and understanding each other's needs, and you build this connection again. Some people get stuck in this stage. At this stage, you may hear things like, we're better as friends. I'm so glad we're friends now. I'm so glad we can co-parent the kids. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I'm just not sure I can have those romantic feelings towards you again. And some people get stuck at this last, like the 3rd stage there before going to the last stage, in the friend stage. And the fourth stage is where they commit to you and they let the story go about you fully, and they give you their heart again fully, and they want to be with you in every sense of the word. Okay. And so this is the process that we guide our clients through. All the way through those stages, no matter which stage you are at, we show you exactly how to progress to the next stage. Does that make sense? So weigh in. I'm looking at the chat here. I'm seeing a lot of messages come in. I love it. You're not sure which stage you're at. Okay. So yeah, let me know a little bit more about what's going on there. And we'll see how we can get you to the next stage. Thank you. Yep. You're still at stage one, and that's okay. Most of our clients start at that stage as well. So awesome. Thank you guys for sharing that. So do you guys want to hear? This is actually not Marc's story. I actually changed it to Cynthia's story just lately, and I forgot to update the slide. So Cynthia's husband was completely checked out, wanting a divorce. They're an older couple. They married a long time and have many children together. And at this point of being empty nesters, he said, I'm done. I can't be happy here. I'd rather be single than be with you. And that's where he was at when she joined on with us. You guys want to hear her story? Okay, awesome.
Where are you and Ralph at in terms of your relationship now? How are things between the two of you?
Right now, I'm gonna almost start crying because he's unbelievable right now. Okay. I mean, in fact, I took out these 2 cards to share with you what he wrote for our anniversary, which was in December. He wrote, "It's not what is whispered in my ears, but what's in my heart, my soul. You are part of me and I'm part of you. Look at what that fairy dust has done." You know, it's a little poetic. "Giving us a wonderful relationship where we are one. What a wonderful world. In this world, there is no love like mine for you. In this world, there's no heart like mine for yours. Know this, I love you with all of my heart. I want you to know I'm yours." And then for Easter, he said, "I feel blessed to be taken by the most beautiful wife in the world. I love you always and forever. Thank you for making my life amazing. I will love you to the last day of my life. Thinking about you makes me happy. You're the best wife any man can ever wish for."
Wow. So it went from threats of divorce to, and you were telling me here that Ralph didn't know how to express himself.
All right. So raise your hand. I'm hearing some of you in the chat that your husband doesn't want to work on the marriage, right? It seems impossible because she doesn't trust me. How many of you would love to get to the place where Cynthia is, where her husband was completely checked out, didn't want to work on the marriage, said he'd be happier alone the rest of his life than to be with her, to now where he's writing her these beautiful, sappy love letters, right? And they are truly so in love and so grateful that they went through this process. So a lot of you said here, yeah, thank you. I can see your hands there. That's awesome. It is. I'd love to be at the place she's at. Thank you for sharing that. And so a lot of you are saying, well, okay, Heather, that sounds great. But what if my spouse won't work on this with me? What if we don't even have any communication right now? I saw that question too. I'm going to touch on it as well. So raise your hand if you have a spouse that says, I'm not willing to work with you right now at all. I don't want to go to counseling. I don't want to do sessions. I'm not going to come to a masterclass with you. I'm not going to read that book. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to talk about it, right? I'm done. I want out, right? Okay. A lot of you are raising your hand and you're not alone. So what do most people do when your spouse won't work on it with you, right? What are you doing right now? Yeah, you give up. You think there's nothing you can do. You hear the phrase, it takes 2 to tango. And you think that if your spouse wants out, then there's nothing you can do. Your friends and family may be telling you to give up, to move on, right? There's nothing you can do, right? Or what if you go into demanding that they work on the marriage with you? You need to go to counseling. You need to work on this with me. You need to end the affair. You need to do this so that I can feel better about our relationship, right? We're expecting them to change, to honor their marriage vows, and they're not. So we're demanding that they do that. How many of us are manipulating? I see this in a lot of forms, okay? This comes as like, I'm going to take the kids from you. I'm going to ruin your credit. I'm going to wreck you financially. I'm going to ruin your reputation. If you go out with that person, then I'm going to go do whatever I want with whoever I want, right? And we make these threats because we want them to come away from the threat back to us. But does it ever work? No, it never works. What about the begging, pleading, desperation? Please don't go. Please come back to me. Please give me another chance. Please, 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 please. I'm begging you, right? And we do all of these things out of desperation and fear. And what is the problem that this creates? Again, I'll raise my hand. I've done every single one of these. The problem that this creates, let me know in the chat, you guys see it, right? it pushes your spouse further away, further towards divorce. It does not lead to any kind of healthy, functional, happy relationship, right? It only backfires. Now, some of you may think that you're doing the right things. You think, oh, I'm going to send her 10 text messages every day, and I'm going to show her pictures of our early married days and remind her of her vows, and I'm going to bring her roses every day. And you think that maybe you're doing the right things to fight for your marriage and get your spouse back and all this stuff. And you have no idea that the things you think are going to help are actually totally backfiring. They're totally backfiring. And I see this so many times, which just breaks my heart. And it's why I do what I do, because I see how much you care about this person. I see how much you want this relationship. I see how much you want happiness in your life, that you want love, you want understanding, you want compassion and respect, you want appreciation, you want to feel held and feel secure. And you want that for your spouse as well. And you're going about it in all the wrong ways. Remember, society has programmed you to fail. You simply haven't known how to do these things up until now. And the good news is that now you can learn. So what we do that's very different is we help you save your marriage, even if your spouse won't work on it with you or attend sessions. It's not uncommon for you to be like our client, Tina, which I'm going to share her story here in a little bit. And her husband was not willing to work on it with her, was not willing to go to sessions, said, I'm done. There's nothing you can do. I'm out. It's over. And that's where about 85, 90% of our clients start, right there at stage one. They're not talking to you. They don't want to work on it with you. And instead of a lot of what the advice of other counselors and programs out there, that there's nothing you can do, we've actually proven that it is possible to save your marriage, even if you're the only one working on it. All right, so let's hear it from Tina. All right, so Tina, she wasn't sure if she could do it alone either. And we were able to help her, just as we have hundreds of other clients whose spouses didn't want to work on the marriage or attend sessions at first.
The opportunity to share your story a little bit and help some other people out. So if you would just start off, Tina, telling us a little bit about what your marriage was like before you started working with us. What were things like in your marriage?
Well, for me, it always felt like I was being put last, and that I didn't get to see him very often, that, you know, other things came before me and the family. It felt like he was running away from me, and that hurt because, you know, you don't want people to run away from you when you want to be close to them. And so I didn't feel close to him. We could lie next to each other and we were a million miles apart. It wouldn't have mattered even if we were a million miles apart. You know, it felt that way even in the same room.
So what would you say things are like now that you've been working with us for a while? How would you describe your marriage currently?
We definitely want to spend time together again. And that hasn't happened in a while because, you know, it was him running away and trying to find other things to do that weren't with me. And now we want to do things together. We look for things to do together and to spend time together. And it doesn't matter what it is, as long as we get to do it together. You can do it by yourself. You can change. And in you changing, other things can change too. But it has to be you. You can't change anything else but yourself. And it takes time, it takes effort, but it's possible. Things can change and things can get better. And you also need a little bit of guidance. If you don't know where you're going, you can't get there. Well, and you need someone. Yeah. I am just so grateful that I was able to find something that has helped me so much to see myself in a different light, you know, as a different person, as someone who is deserving to love myself, and that I can make a difference in so many little ways, and that I can have courage to change things, and that it can be done just by me.
All right. So I know some of you were saying that you relate, right? It sounds familiar, that feeling of I'm lying right next to someone and we couldn't be further apart. We could be worlds apart and it wouldn't feel any different, right? Because of that distance that you have right now between you. But when you are willing to go first and you make that level of commitment that I want to work on this, and I want to know I gave my marriage everything that I could. I want to live my life with no regrets. I want to look back at this challenging time at the end of my life and know that I gave my marriage everything I could, and that no matter what happens, it's okay. What matters is what I choose to do about it right now. And when you make that level of a choice and a commitment and a determination of, I need to do this. I need to do this because I don't want to live with regret that I didn't give it everything I could, then the way will always make itself manifest. Okay. All right. So maybe right now you're thinking, okay, Heather, I'm willing to do this on my own, even if my spouse isn't willing to work on it with me at first. But what if we aren't even talking right now, which I believe was Josh or Jacobs. I can't remember who asked the question, but they're saying my spouse won't even talk to me right now. So that brings us to the next biggest challenge that we have, and the next biggest mistake that most people make, that your spouse won't talk with you. Raise your hand if your spouse is saying, or won't, and then maybe they're not even saying, they're just not talking to you. And every time you try to talk about the relationship, or every time you talk about anything, it seems like it just doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, a lot of you are raising your hands. So what do most people do? What do you guys do when your spouse won't talk to you? What do you see other people doing when their spouse won't talk to you? Right? Yeah, you push them, you try to get them to open up, you demand that they talk to you, you try to resolve deep issues. Maybe you keep texting, you keep bringing it up. Maybe you give up yourself, right? You're like, forget it. There's nothing I can do, right? And maybe you pull away. Maybe you retreat to try to feel safe and not rejected anymore yourself, right? You put up those walls. Yeah, exactly. You have conversations. He just won't talk about the marriage, talk about the weather. We talk not about the relationship. Okay, I don't even bring up the relationship anymore. She talks to me, just doesn't want to talk about the relationship anymore. Okay, thanks, Gerardo. Exactly. And so sometimes you're able to talk to some other areas, maybe some surface level things, but you can't go deep, because when you try to go deep, there is resistance there. So what is the problem when we make one of these mistakes? It's really normal, it's really natural, but the problem that when we're pushing them, or we keep bringing up deep issues, or we shut down ourselves, is that it pushes them away more. It can cause more blowups, more tension. And if we withdraw or pull away, it doesn't ever resolve the issues. Would you agree? Because if your spouse is already checked out and now you're getting checked out, what's the likelihood of things being turned around at this point and resolving those issues? One of the biggest challenges that I see people doing is pushing to resolve some of these deep issues. And the reality is that yes, there are deep issues, and yes, we are going to work on those deeper root issues. But if your spouse is not even talking to you right now and is super resistant to talking about the marriage, that trying to bring up these deep root issues and trying to resolve these major challenges is absolutely going to backfire. It backfires. Just look back at your recent history. If you felt like you've been doing this and you've been pushing to solve these things and find out why they're having the affair, or try to get their trust back if you had an affair, or why they want out, why they're not happy, all of these things, and you're trying to push the marriage right now, push talking about the relationship, and it's not working, why? And should you keep doing that, right? Because my friends, if we keep doing the same things in the same way, we're going to keep getting what? The same results. And if you don't like the results that where you're at right now, it's time to do things in a different way. All right. And so one of the really important things that we do is we scientifically assess your marriage, and we take your pulse of like your marriage health, like your marriage health score. And we see what the level of communication is that you have, and if it's healthy enough and strong enough to actually handle talking about the deep root issues right now. And if it is, then we can proceed with that. And if it's not, then we need to build up some health and some strength in the relationship first, so they're no longer pulling away. If your spouse is continually pulling away, the more you push them, the more they will pull away. And that's not what we want. If your spouse has not yet hit the pause button and they're no longer retreating further from you, then we need to help you push the pause button. And we can help you do that. That's one of the favorite things that happens when we're in this process that I see our clients do, is when your spouse hits that pause button and they stop running away further. Okay. So what we do is we help you hit that pause button by scientifically assessing your marriage, determining where you are at right now and what the very best thing to do next is. Okay. So we help you open up communication so they want to talk with you. So they're not pulling away any further. So they hit that pause button. And after they hit that pause button, they start to take some steps towards you. Instead of away from you, they're taking some steps towards you and get you to the place where you can talk about anything. And we've helped so many clients get there. I absolutely love it when they say, oh my goodness, things that we haven't talked about for years, we can talk about anything now. And it's okay. There is nothing that's off the table anymore, or things that maybe we never talked about. I never felt safe bringing up. They never felt safe bringing up. We can truly talk about anything now, and how freeing and amazing and intimate and vulnerable and connected that is, right? So I want to know, let's take your pulse right now. Let's do an exercise. Where are you at with your communication right now? And as you do the coaching with us, we'll go even deeper into your marriage health score to see where you are at, right? Just like a doctor takes all of your, diagnosis, take all the different stats there. We're going to do that exact same thing with you and your partner. So weigh in here and let me know. Are you a couple where at level 1, you haven't talked for over a year? You haven't seen each other, nothing face to face, no email, no text, like truly you've had no contact with them for over a year, right? 2, my spouse has blocked my phone number. I cannot text him or her. 3, we talk 1 to 2 times per month over the phone or text. 4, we talk 1 to 2 times per month face to face. And 5, we talk 1 to 2 times per week face to face. So let me know what level you are at. A 2, okay, a 5. I'm reading the chat here. 5, 5, 3, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 5. Wow, lots of 5s. 2, 3, 3. Okay. So those that are saying a 2, then I really need to know, do you have the ability to communicate at least 1 to 2 times per month? Because that's going to be really, really important. Are you only talking through attorneys? Is there a restraining order going on? Yeah, we've helped people with restraining orders, but I'm going to be super honest. It's really, really challenging. Okay, I've got a 1 here. And again, my friends, I told you I'd keep it real. If you have not talked to each other or seen each other in over a year, there is very little chance that you're going to be able to save this relationship. I'm going to give it to you completely straight, okay? Because we need at least the ability to talk to our spouse in order to have any kind of hope to rebuild some connection or communication here. Now, if that looks like that's going to change in the future, like maybe the restraining order is lifted, or you have the ability to see each other again and communicate again, then there is hope and possibility there. So I'm just going to be completely honest about that, okay? Because I don't want to just lead you down a path thinking that this is going to work, when in all reality, there's very little that you can do if you're a level 1, sometimes even a level 2. But if you are a level 3, 4, 5, and I see some of you are talking about every single day, which is awesome, that as long as you're talking a couple times a month, there is hope for you because you have that opportunity to communicate. What we want to do now is leverage that opportunity, make those opportunities as effective as possible so that they want to communicate more with you. And you're able to take a text message and turn it into a phone call, take a phone call and turn it into a face-to-face conversation, turn a face-to-face conversation into a date, right? That's down the road for a lot of you, right? But that is what we want to do here. And we will guide you on exactly what to say in a text message, what to say face-to-face, how to respond to their text messages, coach you on exactly those things. So I want to know, what do you think will help you get there the most? Is that what I just talked about, having us coach you on exactly how to respond to texts from your spouse? We can guide you on exactly the common mistakes a lot of people are making, and you can send us what you're thinking about sending, and we can say, yeah, that sounds good, or no, here, refine this a little bit, so that then it opens up more communication and more communication and more communication, build that safety into the relationship so they want to open up more, and you feel safe and secure in that as well. So let me know, is that what you think will help you get you there the most? Or is it showing you how you may unintentionally be pushing them further away? Because if they're still pulling away from you, if you haven't hit the pause button yet, you've missed something along the way. And again, it's not your fault. Give yourself some grace, but you're missing something and it's time to figure out what that is. Okay. 3, how to take the pressure off so your efforts don't keep backfiring. If your efforts are backfiring right now, then again, you've missed something and there's some level of pressure there that is pushing them further away and is causing things that you're doing right now to backfire. So would it be helpful to learn what it is that you may be doing right now unintentionally that is backfiring, okay? Or how to have the hard conversations they've been resisting. So yes, okay, you definitely want 2 and 3 texts, okay? You want unintended pushing away and then backfire for sure. Yeah, 1 with an exclamation mark. Yes, tell me what to say, LOL. Absolutely, almost every day. Awesome. And so you're saying you want to learn how to take the pressure off, 2 and 3, 1, and then get to 4. Awesome. How you may unintentionally be pushing them away, how to take the pressure off. I think it's still reaching out right now and giving space. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let's talk about the space part at the end. If we can, we'll visit on that because it may not be what you think it is. And a lot of times when people say I need space, or even counselors say like the 40-day no contact rule, it completely backfires. And so I want to show you how to do that in the right way. Okay. All right, 4, awesome. Okay, wait until the end. There you go. I love that. All right, so we can certainly help you guys get there. And that's exactly what we do in the coaching program. But we're not done yet. We still have the final problem, which I know a lot of you talked about, which is trust has been broken. There's been an affair. Maybe I had an affair and I broke their trust. What do most people do when your spouse has broken your trust or when you broke your spouse's trust? Yeah, we get defensive. We get into fear mode. Sometimes we become hyper vigilant. Let me know in the chat, what do you do? Sometimes we're checking on their phone all the time. Sometimes we become like a private investigator. We're like following them around and trying to follow where their phone is and who they're talking to and all these things. Sometimes we get into a lot of blame. Like it's your fault that I did this. I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you that I had the affair. I'm blaming you that you weren't there for me. You haven't met my needs. I'm blaming you that you caused me all this pain. We call accusations, sometimes even more accusations about what they may or may not be doing, arguments, acting out of fear, becoming more controlling, withdrawal. All right, thank you guys for sharing. So the problem that creates is it further perpetuates distrust and distance, which often leads to divorce. So I'm going to talk about the space and the distance thing real quick, since we talked about distance, right? Separation, distance, space, giving it time, in and of themselves, those things are not the solution. More distance tends to create more distance. What we want to do instead of just giving space, time, and distance or separation is reducing pressure. That's a very different way of going about it. When you take the pressure off of them, take the pressure off the marriage, take the pressure off yourself, you create space in the relationship that allows them to hit the pause button and no longer retreat further from you. If you keep coming at them, they have no place to go at this point, but further away from you. If you back off and take the pressure off, that gives them the space that they're wanting, which allows them to pause and allows the relationship the space needed so that they can start to take some steps towards you. Okay, just wanted to touch on that about the space and the separation and the time. Okay, time in and of itself is never going to heal broken trust. I have worked with couples that had an affair 20 plus years ago, and no affair was repeated in that 20 plus years. And all of that time did not heal the wounds. All of that time in and of itself did not resolve the issues. Time in and of itself, when you're not actually actively working to heal a wound, does not allow it to heal, okay? So we need to actually be proactive and not just giving it time and thinking that time is somehow going to make everything better. It doesn't, okay? It can actually make things a lot worse because wounds tend to fester when they're not healed properly, okay? So what we do when there's been broken trust, affairs, you broke their trust, they broke your trust, is to restore that trust going through the path process. taking the pressure off, creating space for them to hit the pause button, creating space to allow for the proper elements of healing to occur between you. So you both can feel safe and secure in the relationship and have a healthy relationship for life. That's it in a nutshell. Now that's a bit of a process, and it's going to be custom based on exactly where you're at and what's going on for you. So that's why I would love to get on a call with you and our team here and do that root assessment, uncover why did this affair happen? What is causing this distrust to occur? What are we doing about it now? Where do we really want to go? How do we help our spouse feel safe and secure in this situation? What healthy boundaries may need to be put in place? How can we take the pressure off so they want to hit the pause button? And how do we create healing in our own selves when trust has been broken by our spouse? Okay, so that's what we do. So again, leave your number over in the chat so we can have a free consultation after this. I'll do the root assessment and uncover exactly what's going on here so that we can accurately diagnose what the situation is and how to move forward. I love the saying that you cannot read the label when you're inside the bottle, right? We're all inside the bottle of our own marriage and we cannot see the label. And that's why having an expert guide you through that free process there is so powerful, because we can accurately see exactly what's going on and read the label on your bottle and say, okay, this is exactly where you're at, and this is the right treatment for you with where you are at. Okay, awesome. Thank you. I see some of your numbers over there. Thank you for including the country code. Again, I appreciate you guys doing that. Awesome. So do you guys want to hear how we helped our client, Leah, and her husband end her husband's affair and restore trust between them? Just as a little bit of a background, she was expecting their first child, and a month before their baby was born, he came to her and said, I'm in love with another woman. I've been having an affair and I've been unfaithful for a really long time. And I actually am in love with her and I want to divorce you and go start a family with this other woman. And so Leah came to us at that kind of situation. Her husband was not willing to work on it, not willing to come to sessions, not willing to change or do anything about it. He truly believed he was in love with this other woman. And even with a situation, most people would think that's pretty hopeless and that she should just move on and do the best that she can as a single mom and hope for the best in another relationship. But we showed her that there was incredible opportunity here and that she was willing to listen to that quiet voice inside her that knew that she needed to do this, knew that she didn't want to live her life with regrets. So let's hear it from Leah in her own words.
So my husband started cheating on me in November, and I found out in February, about a month before our son was born, and I was broken. I thought that I was never going to get through it. I felt like a part of me had died. And I didn't know what to do. And then one day, about 3 months ago, I found an ad on Facebook talking about the program. And for me, it was a sign from God, because I was at my wit's end. I didn't know what to do anymore. I felt like all I was doing was walking in circles. And so I joined the program on my last leg of hope, and it made a huge difference in my life. Because of the program, I started doing more self-reflection, and I started working on me, and I started improving myself and bringing that to my marriage. And because of that, because of following the program and speaking my husband's love language and finding what my husband needed because of the help of the program, my husband and I can now say that we've been married for 5 years as of last week, and he's left the other woman and he's focusing on his family, and he wants to have a future with me, and he wants to have a future with me and our son together as a family. And I'm telling you guys, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling knowing that I still get to spend the rest of my life with the love of my life. And some of you guys might be feeling like you're losing hope. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep pushing through. When you feel like you have nothing left to give, when you feel like you are on your last leg, you aren't. You have more strength than you realize, and you can get through this, and you will get through this. Just keep doing the program, keep sticking with it, keep believing in yourself. And I promise you guys, you will see a difference.
All right, raise your hand if you would love to be where Leah is, even if everyone's telling you it's impossible, even if you have your own fears and doubts. But I encourage you to do what she did. Listen to that voice within yourself that knows that you can do this and that it is possible and that you don't want to live your life with regret. Tune out all the other voices, including your own fear, and move forward towards that if that is what life is calling you to. Like she said, it is an amazing feeling to know you get to spend the rest of your life with the love of your life. They now have 3 children together and are so blissfully happy. I just saw their Christmas card just a few weeks ago, right? It was beautiful. So clients like Leah, others like you, told that there was no hope. And there were times that they felt it may be hopeless themselves. That's why it's so crucial to have an expert guide you through this step-by-step process so you can succeed. And that's exactly what we help you do in our marriage coaching program. So I want to know, my friends here, where do you want to be in your marriage 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 5 years from now? How do you want to look back at this time at the end of your life? Do you want to look back at it with regret that you kept letting the same painful things happen over and over and over again, from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship? Or do you want to look back with absolute peace of mind that no matter what happens, whether your marriage is saved or not, you know you gave it everything you could and that you have that peace inside your soul. And that peace is worth everything. It's worth everything to me. You decide, is it worth everything to you? All right, you want happy, back home with your wife, marriage to be thriving, not going through second divorce and being married 30 plus years. I felt so much hope again last night. I want to be back happy again, 3 months at least communicating, 6 months working on our marriage, 5 years, our goals are met. Move back in with my husband and have our marriage restored, happy, strong, and no regrets. I love that. Happy to be back together in the next 3 months, if not, and then in 6 months. I'm 100% in to work on this. I want to be happy and trusting again. All right, my friends. So do you want to learn more? Do you want to see how we can use this path process in your marriage to get you from where you are right now to where you say you want to be again? Happy, trusting it, wife back home, working on things, communication, goals met. Is that what you guys want? Let me know in the chat. All right, awesome. For everyone that's saying, yes, I need to do this. My marriage means everything to me. Then go ahead and make sure you leave your number here so we can get you the free call. I'm going to go further into the program and let you know all the details. Okay. But again, we want to get on a call with you, make sure this is the right fit for you. And if you're ready to join, you can join right away today and I'll show you how you can do that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go here to our path program and show you everything that we do with our coaching clients in this process. Okay. All right, let me get this full screen. Cool. All right. So what is the Path Marriage Coaching Program? It's our proven path process to save your marriage in less than 6 months without getting your heart hurt. It's all the steps needed to go from where you are right now, whether you're step 1, step 2, step 3, or step 4, to where you want to be in your marriage. Now, the bad news is that we are a very small coaching team. It's Marc, Johnston, myself, and our very awesome coaches that we have, but we're a very small team and we do limit the number of clients that we bring on. So we make sure we give you everything that you need to succeed: our time, our attention, our energy. So we only have 6 spots open right now here in February, and there will be over 150 people seeing the masterclass this week. There's almost 50 people on right now. So that being said, if this speaks to you, I do encourage you to act quickly, as spots do tend to fill up really quickly. So $4,200 for our 4-month path program, plus these bonuses that are never for sale or available anywhere else other than through this program right now. You won't find this on our website. If you go to our website, and sometimes you guys will, you go to highthrivecoaching.com, you will not find this offer there. And you'll be like, Heather, it's not on there. I know. That's what I'm telling you. It's not on there. Why? Because I only give it to you guys right now as a bonus for joining the masterclass. I found, my friends, that you guys here that show up, that do the masterclass are our best students. You guys get the best results. And I want to reward that by giving you guys the very best help possible. Okay. So the first bonus is our fast track one-on-one coaching to save your marriage in less than 180 days. What is this? This is where you get to work one-on-one in 4 one-hour coaching sessions a month with one of the marriage coaches here for 10 times faster results. That in and of itself is a $4,800 value. That's where we, as your coaches, get to read the label on your bottle. And that's where we get to say, this is what's going on, and this is exactly where you need to go from here. What we do is we take all the guesswork out of it. So you literally just do what we tell you to do, and you know that it's going to work. Like Leah said, you trust the process. You just do the program and you know that it's going to be okay because we've got your back and we know how to guide you through this. All right. So that's the benefit of that, is getting the feedback from us on how you're doing with the path process, giving you clarity and direction, how to make course corrections, how to stop pushing your spouse away any further, right? How to get them to hit that pause button, how to open up that communication, how to get them to want to talk to you and actually want to spend time with you again. And you can relax and know that everything is going to be okay. And yes, this may be one of the hardest challenges you've ever faced, my friends, but challenges come to all of us. It's what we choose to do about it that matters at the end of the day. And that choice is completely yours. So that is our first bonus, is the one-on-one coaching with us in an intimate private session. Okay. And that will help you go from where you are right now to where you really want to be, and giving you that feedback all along the way to make sure that you get to that destination. Okay. I'm going to skip our testimonial there and go to our second bonus. So first bonus is the one-on-one coaching. Our second bonus is our trust restoration group coaching, and that's worth $1,600. What I love about the group coaching is that you have the ability to get on the session with people like Leah, with people like Tina, with people like Marc, with people like Cynthia, with people like Dawn and Wayne that we're working with right now. And you get to hear their story, and you get to hear from them how they're saying, oh my goodness, I was where you are. I was where you are. My husband was having an affair. My wife didn't want to work on things. She said she was in love with me, but would never love me again. They said they were done. Trust the process. Keep going. It's going to work. I was where you are, and now look at where I am, right? And then you get to be that senior student, and you get to share your story with others that are going through the same hell that you're going through right now. And what a beautiful way to give back. What a beautiful way to let this challenge be something that actually inspires others, if you want to, right? You don't have to, but I love to do that. I love to take the challenges that I've gone through and in some way take this hell and make it a heaven for someone else, and show them that it's possible, and show them there is more hope than they could realize. And that the spirit that's moving inside them that says they need to do this for them, for their children, for their family, for generations to come, that the efforts they're making are worth it. Because you are worth it, and your family and the legacy that you leave behind is worth it. And there is power in that decision that you're making right now to say, I need to do this. My marriage, my family means everything to me. The only thing that matters is you make that commitment. When you make that level of a commitment, the way will make itself manifest. I can absolutely promise you that, because I've seen it over and over again. All right. I got emotional there because I truly believe in you and believe that marriage is sacred, and that when we make a decision that this is what I want to have, the way will make itself manifest. So bonus number 1 is working one-on-one with us in the coaching. Bonus 2 is the group coaching, where you get to work with others that have gone through this process, and their experience will inspire you and uplift you and strengthen you and give you more guidance than you could possibly realize, because they've been in it themselves, right? They've walked the journey, and now you can then also pay that forward to others. The third bonus, and I love this one, is our Rocket Reconnection training. And this is for 2 times faster results in less than 30 minutes, $588 value training here. So what is this? Okay, so Marc and I, we've been doing this a long time. Our coaches here, right? We've distilled over 100,000 hours of training into 3 30-minute power-packed videos. And it gets you the best, fastest methods to reconnect with your spouse. And what I really love about this is you can target a specific issue with your spouse. Say you're saying, I want to know how to end my spouse's affair in 3 weeks or less. I want them to leave the other woman or the other man like Leah's husband did. We have a training on that, and we'll show you exactly how to do it, how to open up any conversation, how to forgive, heal past pain, how to deal with addictions, alcoholism, narcissism, midlife crisis, mental health challenges, anxiety, depression. So what you get to do is you just scroll through here, you find exactly what your issue is, and you click that button, and within just a click of a button, you have the solution you need easily and immediately. And we have some stats here to show you that when you do this, you get 2 times faster results. That keeps you moving forward to the happy relationship that you want, okay? I'm gonna skip this client win as well. Again, we have so many of these, and it just blows my mind, and it's so inspiring to me to see your success story. And I cannot wait to hear yours when you share it with us. And you may share it publicly, you may not share it publicly, and that's okay. But I hope one day that I get to see that, you know, Heather, 4 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, I was on a masterclass with you, and now look at where we are, and look at how happy my children are, and look at how happy we are. And I cannot wait to hear that from you. So in addition to those bonuses, I have an extra bonus, 2 extra bonuses, okay? Extra bonus number 1, today, if you join, I'll add a 4 30-minute SOS bonus call, and those normally cost $600 for free. And I want to do that because I want to reward you as being an action taker. Okay, I know that that says something really special about you. So what is an SOS bonus call? It's a session that you can claim with us, your coach, right away if something unexpected happens. Here's a little hint. Something unexpected always happens. It always happens. Like there's always something unexpected that happens. And so you'll get support right away when it happens, okay? And that helps you so you never feel alone. You never feel lost. You're not wondering what to do. You're not overwhelmed and confused and not knowing what to do. You get help immediately to overcome your biggest challenges so you don't get stuck in them, but you're able to move past them quickly. So you're going to be amazed at how fast issues that maybe took weeks or months, sometimes even years, you're able to resolve really quickly in just a couple of hours. So that's what happens when you have the right method and right support. I just got an SOS call last week with a client who said, I'm wondering if my wife's having an affair. I found a mask in her truck and it smells like cologne, right? Masks, COVID, cologne, right? And he's starting to put together this story. Is my wife having an affair? Because she doesn't want to work on the marriage. So instead of acting out of fear, going in and accusing her, pushing her further away, he got on a call with me. And within 2 hours, we were able to completely clear that up. And instead of it rolling over into a big issue that would fester and lead to more of this story and this narrative that his wife's having this affair and more fear and more evidence, we're able to see that it wasn't true at all. And we were able to have a really great breakthrough with his wife so that she was able to lower her defense mechanisms even more as she saw what her husband was going through. And it softened her heart to the point now where they're actually going on dates the last several weeks. And so something that could have been like catastrophic when not handled properly actually turned into something really beautiful and really healing. And that's the power of an SOS call. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. Again, I'm going to skip that one. My final bonus, which is my very favorite one. I only have 3 tickets left to this. And actually, it's actually down to 2 because I just enrolled someone yesterday into this. 2 tickets left. So I apologize. There's the 3 here. It's actually only 2 to our $3,000 2-day unified marriage virtual event. And this is where we help couples that are fully reconciled get to the next level of intimacy, of connection, of trust, and happiness. So I want to offer that one of these last 2 tickets to you completely free as a bonus when you and your spouse are both committed to working on the marriage. So future pace this with me. Okay, you join now. 4 months, 6 months from now, your spouse has gone from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to step 4. Now they've let their story go about you. Now they're giving you their heart fully again. Now they're fully committed to you for life. And now that they're fully committed to you again, you get to come to this marriage virtual event, the summit that we do, and to ensure that your relationship stays healthy long-term. And this is going to be valid for 12 months. We just did one in December, and we're going to be doing another one here shortly. And so you'll have the opportunity to use it just as soon as you and your spouse are reconciled and you're both committed to working on the marriage. And so I cannot wait to have you guys join me in the summit with your spouse that's now fully committed to you, because we're going to get you there and it's going to be amazing. So to recap everything, Gold Path Marriage Coaching Program, full transparency, is $4,200. That is what this program is worth. Plus, it's worth way more than that, in my opinion, and I'm sure yours once you join. These bonuses are never for sale or available anywhere else other than right now through this program. Our fast track one-on-one coaching to save your marriage in less than 6 months, our marriage healing group coaching worth $1,600, and our Rocket Reconnection training, $588. Those 4 SOS calls, like I talked about, to make sure that you get over any unexpected challenges very quickly, and that's $600. And for the first 2 who join, you get one of the tickets valued at $3,000 to our 2-day unified marriage virtual event. So we do cap attendance on that, and we only have 2 left. So total value, $14,788. Of course, if you're just going to look at numbers to numbers, that's less than the cost of divorce, which is $30,000. That's less than the cost of your attorney fees. That's less than the cost of paying for 2 households. That's less than the cost of therapy and midlife crisis binges and, you know, all the other destructive things that tend to happen when you go through the divorce. Plus, you get to have your marriage, which is worth infinitely more than any amount of dollars. So that is the total value, is $14,708. But for the next 24 hours and to only the first 6 who join, because we only have 6 spots open, it'll be $4,200. So you can come with me over here to this link if you're ready to join right away, highthrivelivecoaching.com/join gold, and you will see this exact page that I'm pulling up right now. And I will answer any questions that you guys have as we conclude our time here today. So again, you'll see everything we just talked about, the 2-day unified marriage virtual event, all of the bonuses I just outlined. Now, biggest question I tend to get, do you offer payment plans? Yes, we do. And we tend to see that those that pay in full get the best results. So it's up to you and whatever works for you and your budget. I totally get it. But those that pay in full tend to see the best results because they're the most committed. And anytime we're the most committed to something, we tend to get the best results out of that thing. So yes, we can break it down into monthly payments of $1,050 a month if that works better for you and your budget. Okay, I'm going to go over here to the chat and see what questions you all have. Full transparency. And if you have a question like you're wondering, is this really going to work for me? And I'm only at a level 2 communication. What kind of level of hope is there? And make sure you book your call so that we can talk to you about that. Again, completely no free. Oh my goodness, completely free and no pressure to join or anything. This is a resource for you because we want to help as many couples as possible to have a great relationship. So again, leave your number here and we will reach out to you. If you're saying, Heather, I would love to do this, everything in me is saying, I want to make sure that I don't live my life with regret. I want to make sure that I gave my marriage everything that I could. I want to learn how to have a healthy relationship. I realize that, like you said, society has programmed us to fail, but I don't want to be one of the failures anymore. I want to be one of the people that has an amazing marriage. I want to be one of those 8% of couples that are actually happy. So what can we do? All right. If you are saying, I would love to do this, I want to move my marriage forward, I'm deeply committed to this process and I'm all in, but you're saying, Heather, maybe finances are tough right now. I get it. There's a lot of challenges that can come. And so we can talk in the consultation and see if there's another program. It won't be able to be this one that I'm talking about right now, but maybe we have something that can fit your budget a little better. Even if you can only do like $300 a month, $500 a month, we can custom make a program that will fit you and where your budget is and be able to move you forward with where you are at. So please make sure that you don't hesitate to leave your number if this is speaking to you, and then we will reach out to you in the next couple of days. And, some of us will be able to reach out right away today. I would love to be able to talk to some of you and get you going as fast as we possibly can. All right. What questions do you have for me? I'm an open book and I have about 10 minutes left that I can answer any questions that you guys have. So if you want to pick my brain, you have a question about the program, you have a question about any of this process, you have a question about anything I shared with those biggest mistakes that couples make, then let me know. All right, I'm going to watch the chat for a few minutes. I see a couple questions come in. I think I answered the one about communication. If you still have a question about that, let me know. But I'm going to touch on that real quick. And unless I see anyone else come in, I'm going to touch on the one about, okay, everyone here. What do you do when there is miles of distance for marriage? So let me know, what kind of miles of distance are you talking about? Are you able to see each other at least a couple of times a month? If you're talking physical distance, right? You may be talking about emotional distance. So give me a little more clarity there. Yeah. All right, Rick, just joined. Congratulations. Yes, I will get you one of the virtual tickets. Congratulations, Rick. I'm super excited to have you in the program, and it's going to be awesome. So that's awesome. So now we're just down to one of those tickets left, just so you guys know. Okay. Yes, super excited for you. All right. Okay. Yes. Okay. I'm going to go back to that question. 3,600 miles between you. So is there any way that you're able to see each other or communicate? Because that's going to be the differentiation here. It is very challenging, but it can be done. I'm not going to say 100% because I don't know enough to know that. Okay. We have had some military families that, like that kind of situation. We did work with a couple. His wife took their child to Japan, back to her home country, and he was in the US. And that was a situation we were able to work on, but it depends on your level of communication, the level of connection that you have, what the major issues are between you. It does make it more challenging. So I'm going to be just completely honest about that. So let's talk and let's get some more details and understanding about your situation to see there. Okay. All right. Awesome. Yeah. Super excited. Congratulations. All right. So my wife told me to never contact me again a month ago. She's not blocked me. Is there hope? So for the gentleman who asked this question, have you, okay, a month ago. So you have not talked to her in over a month. And do you have any way of communicating, any way of connecting? Let me know. That again does make it more challenging. And one of the obstacles is that if you try to push for communication and contact, then it's going to feel invalidating and she's not going to feel heard or respected. So that does become a bit of a barrier there. So let's get some more details again. Full transparency, I'll let you know if it's an option or not. Yeah. Okay, Canada and USA. Okay, gotcha. Okay. How can my issues from my past, I think religion, my past religion be sorted in order to save my marriage? Give me a little more detail there. Issues from my past, I think there's a typo too, religion sorted in order to save my marriage. I need some more specifics. So give me a little more details about what's going on there, okay? All right, this one, I feel my wife has a picture of me in her head that no matter what I do, doesn't seem to change. Any suggestions on what to start with that? Yeah, so Chad, that's talking about the story, right? The picture in her head that no matter what you do, doesn't seem to change that picture. That is why most marriages fail. And that is why most other programs and companies and therapists and whatever do not save a marriage either, because they're not addressing that your spouse has this really strong story about you. They've built up this picture. Why? They built it up over the past months, the past years, sometimes, decades even, as a self-defense mechanism. They don't want to be hurt. We all do this. Our brain's number one job is to protect us from pain. So we create a story that's going to be like a barrier. If I believe this about you, then I can keep you at arm's length and I don't have to let you in. And then I don't have to be hurt. I don't have to be vulnerable. I don't have to be rejected. I don't have to be disappointed. I don't have to be abandoned, right? And so that self-defense mechanism is there for a reason. It's protecting her from some kind of pain about being hurt again, or sometimes pain that she doesn't want to feel the guilt of what she's doing, because she knows that what she's doing is very hurtful and she doesn't want to have to feel the guilt of it. And that's painful to feel guilt. And so we put up this story and we say, it's their fault. It's his fault. It's all him. So I don't have to feel bad about what I'm doing. Do you see what I'm saying? So what the path process does is help them to feel safe enough to let that self-defense mechanism go. And there's going to be things that we need to stop doing, like pushing, begging, manipulating, pleading, withdrawing ourselves, freezing out of fear. All of those things are going to only further perpetuate that narrative. We're not going to try to prove to her that this new story is true, because like you said, it doesn't matter. She doesn't see it. It doesn't change for her. And so where we want to start is with the path process. The P stands for perspective, gaining perspective into where she's coming from. Okay. And helping to reduce that tension and reduce the pressure that she's feeling right now that's causing her to dig her heels in even more and only see through the lens of that picture that she has about you. When we can start to reduce the tension, take the pressure off, and get her to hit the pause button, that's the first step. When she hits the pause button, now we need to bring in some safety. And we bring in some safety by adjusting how they see the story and keeping the pressure off, increasing understanding towards her. And a big thing that I want you to do, no matter if you do this program or not, is I want you to validate that this is how she feels. It doesn't mean you're saying that what she feels is right or wrong or good or bad or necessary or unnecessary, hurtful, not hurtful. Take all the judgment out of it. Because for her, this is true. When you validate someone, you're not saying, I believe that this is the right thing for you to do, but you're saying, I see that for you, you feel this way. I see that for you, you see me this way. I see that that's true for you. I can see that that's how you feel about this. And when you validate them, they're going to feel understood. They're going to feel like you're no longer trying to get them back or try to manipulate them or anything. They're going to feel like, oh, he really gets me. And it's going to be the first step to starting to thaw that ice block of a story. Okay, the first step going to help thaw that resistance and start to lower the defense mechanism, start to open up some avenues here where her heart can start to open a little more, and then she can start to see things in a new way. When she starts to see things in a new way, she's going to go to the teeter-totter effect. Step 2, the back and forth, the hot and cold, right? I'm in it, I'm not in it. I love you, I don't love you. I want to be with you, I don't want to be with you, right? And some of that back and forth. I want to go on a date with you, no, I don't, right? So that's where we need to get you to. And so she is going to hold really strong onto this story if you keep doing things in the same way you always have been. There's probably something that you're doing that's unintentionally pushing her further away and causing her to believe the story even more. And she's afraid to let it go. And there's a final part there when we get to the friend stage where their story comes back, because it's like their final battle. I like Lord of the Rings. It's like the final, like Mount Doom battle, and their story comes back up and they're wanting so desperately to let it go, but they're still holding on to a little bit of that fear, the fear of being hurt again, the fear of being rejected. And so when you can help them to feel it's safe to let it go, I don't need to see him in this way anymore. The picture that I had about him in my head isn't the picture I see anymore. I can let it go and I can give my heart fully to him again. That is what we do. Okay, so let me know if that makes sense. That's where you need to start. Start with validating, start with taking the pressure off, start with reducing the tension, start with getting on a call with us and seeing how you may unintentionally be pushing her further away, and get her to hit the pause button so she can consider seeing you in a different way. And as she considers seeing you in a different way, we got to navigate you through each and every one of the subsequent steps there, but we can absolutely do it. Okay. What do you do when you've been in no contact for 2 years and have no way to contact? Okay. Yeah. So again, I'm going to give it to you really straight. There is very little that can be done. There's very little that can be done as far as this relationship goes. If you've had no contact for 2 years and you have no way to contact, then there is very little that can be done. And I just want you to know that I'm saying with absolute like integrity here. I'm never going to try to say that there's hope when there isn't. Okay. Not that there couldn't potentially be hope, if there is a way to contact in the future, that's a different situation. But if it stays the way that it is right now, my friend, then this is not a situation that can be saved. And I know that's hard to hear, but at the same time, I also want you to know that there are things that you can do to learn how to have a healthy relationship, how to have a relationship that can be beautiful and freeing, and let go of some of the pains of the past and the false stories that you built up and you believed yourself about yourself and who you are, and uncover the truth of who you are, that you are good enough, you are deserving, you are worthy, you are capable, you are intelligent, you are a piece of the divine. We all are. That is the truth of all of us. And so as you step into that truth and learn to let go of some of the false stories that you've picked up since childhood, since before you could even realize that you picked them up, then you're going to find that everything else starts to change, and that you're able to bring in the relationship that's really the right fit for you and is going to be a beautiful resonance for where you are now at. Okay. All right. I've got just about another minute or two. I see some more questions. Oh, I really wanted to get to every single one of them. Man. All right. I changed those narrative. Okay, I kind of answered that one. So I'm going to just, it's gotten so wrong and twisted and he won't change his opinions. I answered that one with the last one. So just go back and listen to that. It's the same process of, yes, they've twisted things, they're twisting things in their mind. It's really hard. The more you try to push them and prove that it's wrong, the more they're going to believe it more. And so we got to take the pressure off and get them to see the possibility of a different perspective by going through the path process there. Okay. Oh, you can FaceTime. Okay. All right. So if you can FaceTime, this goes back to the first question of the lady who said there's 3,000 miles between you. If you can FaceTime, oh, but he won't. Okay. Move back to rent another place. Okay. Yeah. If he won't and you're that far apart, again, there's probably not a lot that we can do here. So I just want to be really honest about that. Okay, since we can communicate almost daily, what is the best way to help her change her perspective on me and the changes I'm making? Yeah, so when you're communicating almost daily, there's a lot of patterns that you have, right? We all have these patterns, but if you are communicating every day, but you're still feeling really stuck that she's not letting go of this story about you, sorry, then there's something that you've missed along the way. The great news is that there's an immense amount of opportunity here to really start to change things and do things in a new way. And when you do what we call a pattern interrupt, those patterns that you have of your daily interactions right now, and you do a pattern interrupt and you shift from maybe putting the pressure on to now you're taking the pressure off, she's going to be like, what just happened? That's not normally how he treats me. Like, what just happened? And it's going to get her to hit that pause button and turn around and be like, what is different here? And the more you do those pattern interrupts and you start to do some things in a new way, and you stop, unintentionally pushing her further away, but you take that pressure off and create that space so that she feels safe enough to just pause, and then safe enough to start to take some steps towards you, and safe enough then to start to let go of that story, you're going to see that everything really changes. So that's a really hopeful situation when you're talking every day or even a couple times a month, that there is a lot that you can do there to pattern interrupt and get her attention. And when you get her attention, she's going to be curious, like, what just happened? Everything feels different. That's not how we normally play the game, right? Like, that's not how we normally do life. That's not how we normally talk about problems. That's not normally how he approaches me about something. Oh, he doesn't normally show me that kind of understanding. What's going on there with him? Like, I'm like, at first they're going to be confused, and then they're going to be curious, and then they're going to be attracted, and then they're going to be attached, and then they're going to be committed. Okay, that's kind of the process. So we can definitely help you with that. All right. Kevin, my wife, oh, sorry. Okay. All right, I'm going to come back to that one in a little bit. They've moved out, they've completely shut out open communication. Yeah, we talked about that. So the same kind of thing. When they are moved out and they've completely shut you out and you're wanting to open up communication, there's some things that we really need to stop doing. We need to reduce the tension and stop the damage first. And you may be unintentionally doing some of those things, and then start to do things in the way that works. And then she's going to want to start to open up communication. We've seen this many, many times when your spouse has moved out, living in separate place, sometimes even living with a different person, and they're completely shutting you out. That's the process that Leah used. That's the process Tina used. That's the process Cynthia used, and on and on and on. And so go back to those foundational principles there. Okay. All right. Wife just doesn't want to be married, but can't give me a reason why. So that's, again, that defense mechanism. I just don't want to be married. I want to be free. I need to find myself. Some of these like very vague, like it's about me, it's not about you, it's about me, right? All of those things, there's a reason why. And if you can't find the reason why, then let us help you read the label on your bottle, because it's a self-defense mechanism, and there's a reason why. And so we can help you uncover what that is. Okay. Yep, she told me to give up hope last night. She told me she's still dating her affair partner. Is there a chance of reconciliation? Absolutely. So again, we need to go deeper in it, and I want to make sure that we have a conversation and that this is going to be a good fit, and what their issues are, why she's having an affair. But the reason is, the bottom line is that there's a reason why she's having the affair. There's a reason why she's doing what she's doing. And when our partner tells us to give up hope, that can often feel like a shut door, and it can often feel very hopeless to us. I mean, raise your hand here, you guys, if you feel like your partner is holding all the cards and you just feel like there's not much I can do here. I feel like they're calling all the shots, and I feel like I have no power or say in what's going on. I understand that feeling, but the reality is that they're not holding all the cards. This is still a relationship, and a relationship has to involve 2 or more people, and you are 50% of the equation. When you change one part of the system, the whole system changes. So again, let's go deeper into what's going on there. But when we can uncover why she's having the affair, like Leah did, and like many of our clients that have gone through affairs, and we can find out what she's wanting, again, I think you're going to be astounded, my friends, that what you're wanting and what your spouse are wanting at the core level, like leave all the drama and the baggage and the story and the narrative and the gunk out of it. At the core level, we're all wanting the same things. We want to feel important. We want to feel significant. We want to feel growth. We want to feel secure. We want to feel comfortable. We want to feel loved and appreciated. And so when you can uncover what her core, I'm getting tongue tied, what her core motives are there in going to an affair partner, then we can really start to show some validation for those reasons and some understanding and maybe even some empathy. Not saying that what she's doing is right, but we can say, I can understand that you feel that way. I can understand that you're wanting that. I'm actually wanting the same things, right? And you can start to build some of that common ground. So absolutely, there's a lot of hope there. Take a deep breath. When you get hit with that kind of news, there's nothing you can do. Move on. I'm in love with someone else. You've got to go inside yourself, and you've got to find that part of yourself that knows truth. I'm not talking about your head. I'm not even talking about your heart, because my friend is hurting too much right now. I'm talking about a deeper, quieter part of your soul that knows truth for you. And if you say, I know I need to do this, I know I need to know, I know I need to look back and say, I give my marriage everything I could, and it's worth it to me, no matter what happens, that I became a better person, that I learned through this, that I decided what I really want to experience in my life, and it's worth everything. There is a shift that comes when we stop looking outside of ourselves for everything that we're wanting, and we start looking inside and realize that everything that we thought we wanted or needed from other people or other circumstances is only found within us. And that's actually the core and the heart of what we do, is help you find the truth of who you are. And when you do, then the results, everything outside you changes. And you're able to step into that reality as a creator rather than a victim to life and victim to circumstances. Okay, I'm going to go to one other question. I know that there are 41 new messages, and I am so grateful that you are all sharing things. And I wish that I could address every single one of these. Yes, we are going to send out the replay. So I'm going to go to one more. I already touched on communication, so I'm going to see if there's another one that maybe we didn't touch on as much. All right, I haven't talked in a month. Yeah, so absolutely open up communication in that way. Change the story she has me. She's not served me. If she has not served me with divorce papers. Okay, she filed on December 18th. I have 120 days if you do not dismiss. So what can I do? Yeah, so a lot of our clients have already been served divorce papers as well. And one of the challenging things is that puts you into even more fear and into even more tension and pressure, which is only going to negate, right? There's a saying that says tension negates, force negates, that's it, force negates. So when you're trying to force something because of the pressure of time, it's going to negate a situation. And so one of the things that we work on a lot with our clients that are already in the divorce process is to take a high level perspective and to reduce the tension and the pressure. And I will be completely honest, sometimes the divorce goes through. I'm not going to say that every single marriage is saved, and especially when there's a time constraint, that's always what we can do in that amount of time. But we've also been able to hit the pause button more often than not and have your partner at least pause the divorce process. And if we can buy, quote unquote, like buy 6 months of time and get them to agree, because it's a win-win, they're wanting to agree to give you 6 months of time, then that takes the pressure off the ticking time bomb, right? And gives you the time and the space needed to be able to go through this process and allow your spouse to take the pressure off and change their story about you. So that's usually what we do when there's a time constraint and divorce papers signed, is we want to coach you and we'll guide you on how to get them to agree to slow down that process, to pause the divorce process, to give it some more time. And when we can buy 6 months of time, we've proven more often than not that then will turn the marriage around, but we need to give it that time and get them to agree to that and have it be a win-win. All right. And then, like I said, sometimes our clients do go through, their spouse does go through with the divorce. And sometimes that's exactly what's needed, because there's an interesting thing that happens when the divorce is final. Now your spouse doesn't feel what anymore? They don't feel any pressure. They don't feel any pressure from you anymore. And they don't feel any pressure that they're married, that the whole thing. And we have had an astounding number of, we don't have very many divorced people come to us, but of those that do, that are already fully divorced, an astounding number of those have actually remarried and re-reconciled. And the reason why is because the pressure's off. Okay. And so we can do the same thing without having to get fully divorced, though. We can take the pressure off now, and we don't have to go through that whole thing to be able to take the pressure off. But it is an interesting phenomenon that we've seen over and over and over again with people that are already divorced, because now the pressure's off and now they have space and room to be able to reconnect without all of that pressure and tension. That's why we start with reducing the pressure and the tension to begin with, so you don't have to go through that whole divorce process to get that. So that's a little bit of understanding there. Yeah, you too. Yep. Okay, gotcha. All right, awesome. So congratulations to everyone who joined. I love that you guys all shared so many questions. And again, please post your number here in the chat. If you haven't done it yet, then please do so now. This is your last chance, okay, before we go. But I hope that no matter what, we continue to stay in touch. And I cannot wait to hear your story of how your marriage went from where you are right now to where you really want it to be. And I get to hear the beauty of where you now are and the reality that you're living. So thank you for coming. I honor you. I love you. I send you my heart, my love, my appreciation. You are an incredible person, and I honor you for coming today. Life is short. It's a beautiful gift. So let's all choose to make the most of it now. Thank you for coming. Again, if you want to leave your number in the chat, I don't want to make sure I didn't miss anyone, but I believe we got everyone else's numbers that already shared. So thank you for doing that. And I look forward to talking to you all again very soon. Take care, my friends, and we'll see you again.